What's going on, everybody on YouTube? Steve here, Raiken Profit over at RaikenProfit.com. Coming back to you guys with another video. In today's video, I just want to add some value to your lives and answer some questions related to selling books on Amazon FBA. A lot of people want to get started making money online. I run across people all the time at thrift stores, garage sales, comments coming into Facebook, Instagram, and people are looking for the best way to get started reselling. Should it be on Craigslist? Should it be on OfferUp, Amazon FBA? And if it is Amazon, what do I do? Do I go private label or wholesale, retail arbitrage, books? Or should I start with Amazon but go into self-publishing with Kindle, CreateSpace, Audible? Or should I publish to my own platform on Gumroad, launching products with ClickFunnels, Shopify? There's so many different ways to go about making money online. And I feel that one of the easiest ways to get your feet wet and to build that confidence is by selling books on Amazon. Now, I do want to say, for the people who are watching right now, selling books on Amazon isn't going to be for everybody. Why? Well, depending upon where you live, you may or may not have the opportunities that I have. Okay, so I have to tell you that right now I'm in Connecticut, and I don't know if you guys watch basketball or football at all, but we live near UConn. So we live near a large university, and we get quite a bit of school textbooks to our thrift stores. And if it wasn't for all the textbooks, I would say that books probably wouldn't be the best opportunity for myself, for my mother. I like to call her Mama Profits. And, it's not for everybody. And it's the same with eBay. If you're selling clothing, you may or may not have the same opportunities that I have, right? Or you may have opportunities that I don't have in my area. So I do want to put that out there right now. Take everything I say with a grain of salt in consideration to where you live in the country. Or if you're out of the country, it might not even apply. So I want to shout some people out. If you could hear me okay, type the number 1 in the comments and say hello. Let me know where you guys are from. And I'm going to go through some of the comments right now and say hello. We got Just 10 Pacman in the house. What's going on? CK Rules. What's up? Brian Fisher. What's up? Woo. Kim Lewis. Good to see you, Kim. Flippin' Picker. What up, Flippin'? Jay Goldie in the house. David B. Malaki Irvin. My good friend Raiken. What's up? What's up? So Malaki's asking, what's better in your opinion, buying books or private labeling? Well, we've got to define what better means. If you've never made $1 in your whole entire life, and maybe you're working minimum wage, or maybe you're just getting by and you need to test out this theory of making money online to see if it actually works, I would go with selling books because you're going to be able to make your first dollar so much quicker, right? In order to make money selling books on Amazon, there's a couple of things you have to do. There's a couple of things you have to get in line, like downloading the Amazon seller app, buying a couple books, and then sending out your shipment. There's a couple things you have to do. But when it comes to private labeling, there's a whole entire spectrum of things that you have to do, from product research to negotiating with suppliers, to testing products, to hiring inspection companies, all these different marketing things that you have to do. There's so much more to know. So what platform, or what, not platform, but what model do you think can make you more money in the long run? Private label all day long. But you got to understand, that's a beast. That's a beast of an objective right there compared to getting started selling books. So if you haven't sold on Amazon before, I would start with books because it's so much easier. The risk is lower. You don't need as much money to get started. And once you start making money, and then maybe you hit like that plateau, maybe you can't get past 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 based on whatever model you're using, then you could start to take those profits and move them in to private label. So there's definitely a larger upside to private label versus selling books, but it's a whole different beast. Kay Murphy Wallace says, love your videos. Thanks, Kay. Appreciate it. Kitty Jones Cook says, hello from Alabama. Quebec Daniela says, glad to be watching you live. Good to see you. What's up, Eric? Malawi Smith, hello. We got SoCal in the house. All right, Mal. I'm going to call you Mal from now on because the whole Malaki, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is getting old. Avalan, what's up? So Mal says, I've done several thousand in books. Private labeling sounds like an annoying long trip around town just to make private labeling worth it. Well, here's the thing about private label. yeah, it's probably, I would consider it annoying to get set up. But you got to remember, when you're selling books on Amazon, in order for you to make an income, you've got to consistently be going out and finding new books, sending them out to the warehouses. So there is somewhat of a passive side to selling books, because you can go sourcing hard for a week, send it all in, and it can make you money for months. But you got to remember, it's going to slowly dwindle down. Whereas with private label, you can build private label up. You can get all your marketing in line. And you could also outsource different people to help you with certain things. And that could generate a really good revenue for years. You're building a brand. So it's a lot more passive. There's definitely a higher upside, I would say. But like I said before, you could call it annoying. You could call it time consuming. It's going to take much more research and just more of your time to build up. ND says you're related to Coyote Peterson. I don't know who that is, but I feel like somebody has asked. Roughly how many books, $15 and up, to achieve $2,000 a month? It really is going to depend upon your model. The best way I can put it, I can give you an example, right? My mother, you guys have probably all heard her story, but if not, I got her started selling books. I think she's 62, 63. I got her started selling books about 5 years ago, and she had no idea how to, use the phone to scan. She didn't know anything about Amazon. She had zero experience making money online. And I got her started about 5 years ago. And just this month already, just the last 30 days she's done, I just saw her numbers. It was like $3,400 on Amazon. So her profit margins could range anywhere for each given book, anywhere from probably 30% upwards to a couple 100%. Some of the margins are really crazy on books. And she's been doing it for about 5 years. And her average profit per book, if you were to take all of her books, is probably around, I would say, anywhere between $10 to $30. It's really hard to say. But she's been doing $3,000 to $4,000 a month, sometimes $2,500 a month. And she only has about 200 books in her inventory. So the game has changed on Amazon. A couple of years ago, she had over a couple thousand. I had a couple thousand books in my inventory as well. But now that the fees have been going up so high, and the long-term storage fees have become quite significant, we've changed our model, and we're really focusing on books that have a higher profit margin. So we're usually staying away from books that only make $2 or $3 if it's like more than more than $1 million rank, and really focusing on books that have at least a good $10 profit. Now, we're not going to pass up a book that has, a 3,000 rank or even a 30,000 rank that makes $3. And it's, a little soft cover book you send right in, make some money. But for the most part, we're looking for that good $10 profit. And that comes back to the point I was making before. You've got to analyze where you live and your opportunities. And the best way to analyze it is to ask yourself, well, first off, do I have any major universities in my area? Because if you have some major universities in your area, there's going to be a good amount of donations going to your thrift store. So that's question number one. Universities. Are there any universities in your area? Question number two that you need to ask yourself, and you're only going to be able to learn how to do this based upon experience. So don't be too quick to judge. But you've got to ask yourself, are my thrift stores putting all the books on the shelves for anyone to buy? Or are they scanning all the books first and sending them into Amazon themselves? Because there are specific thrift stores that will scan all the books and put them aside first. And then they'll do their thing. Now, they're not doing it very efficiently. They're not going the Amazon FBA route. Most of them, a lot of them are merchant fulfilling. And what that's causing them is a lot of headaches, and they're not actually making as much money as they'd like. So a lot of them are reverting back to just putting the books back on the shelves. That actually happened in my hometown. One of our number one, I'm in Connecticut. One of our number one Goodwills is in Manchester, Connecticut. And I'm good friends with the manager. And he was telling me that they used to sell everything online. Well, they were scanning for quite a period of time, but they were merchant fulfilling everything, and it was causing a lot of issues and stuff. I think it was the Manchester one. I'm not sure. But anyways, they reverted back to putting it all on the shelf. So you got to ask yourself, do you have universities in your area? Because that's going to equate to opportunities. Then you got to ask yourself, are my stores scanning? And then another question you want to ask yourself is there any opportunities here? Because we have a guy, there's actually a team. I forget what nationality he is. I think he's Polish or Russian, but we'll just call him Polish. I'm sorry if you're watching, brother. I forgot your nationality. But this guy, his whole entire family, they go out to like the library sales and the church sales and even the thrift stores, and they come in a team. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 of them, and other times it'll be like 6 or 7. And they will literally come to these stores and they will wipe them out. And I mean, they are good. They've got all the technology, all the software. They know what they're doing, and they're quick. So if you've got a team like that in your area wiping out stores, then you're going to be in trouble. Now, one thing right here I want to talk about is a lot of people have limiting beliefs. They think, well, there's competition. I can't make 1,000 a month. I can't make 500 a month or 2,000 a month. You can't be everywhere at all times. So a lot of the times you'll get lucky at a thrift store because maybe they're just processing the inventory and they put it all in a bin, and you pop on the bin at the right time and you find a couple $100 worth of books. Or, for example, maybe this team of Polish people or the competition, they might be on the other side of the state that day. So, I mean, you got to be consistent. You got to go on a regular basis. But I do believe that some areas are going to have higher competition than others. So I want to know right now, I want to ask you guys, first and foremost, guys and gals watching, I want you to type a 1 in the comments right now if you have a university close by. And I want you to write a 2 if you don't have any major universities in your area. Let's take a look to see who may or may not have a good opportunity with books. Because like I said, if you don't have any universities, you're probably not going to have a ton of textbooks in your area. And also ask yourself, is my town or my area highly literate? Are people reading books? If you're in a place where people aren't really into books and they're not really into reading, you're probably not going to have a lot of opportunities. This is something that I learned from my friend Reezy Resells. If you guys follow him, he taught me that a couple of years ago, and it's true. It's definitely true. So I see a bunch of 1s coming in. Also see a bunch of 2s coming in. Joseph's asking, can anybody sell books in Amazon from Iraq? I'm not sure about Iraq or where you're living. But I would assume if you're going to be selling on the US market, shipping is going to be very high if you're shipping internationally to the States. So I only know I'm in the United States, so I can't really give you any advice on that. Sherry, you missed everything. You got to go back and rewatch it. Carl Scott says, I don't have any close by. So if you are unsure or even if you don't have a university close by, what I would do is I would go out. This is a great exercise for you folks. Go out to your thrift stores and start scanning. Start looking to see what opportunities you have. And I can tell very quickly when I go into a thrift store if there's going to be opportunities or not. And I talked about this the other day, and this is a great tip. If your thrift store has a color tagging system with their inventory, what you want to do is figure out what the newest inventory is that came out. So for example, here in Connecticut, we have 4 different colors, blue, red, yellow, green. I think we might even have a fifth one, but I always know what color is new. And you can tell by going to the bins to see what new inventory just came out. And then you'll see, okay, yellow. We were at Goodwill today. We went to the bins. We saw that yellow was the newest color. So when we went over to the books, instead of scanning all the books, we only looked for yellows. So we were picking and choosing. That'll speed up the process like crazy. Now, if your thrift store doesn't have a color coding system, sometimes they'll have a system based on numbers. You'll have to learn that system. It's the same with pawn shops. They have different numbers on their tags. You'll have to learn that. Or you'll just have to get comfortable with your thrift store. One of the biggest reasons why Mama Profits is so successful, spending very limited time going out sourcing, is because she's very in tune with what books are new and what books are old stock. And the only way to know what is new inventory and what is old is to go on a regular basis. So here's another tip for you guys. If you want to make $100 a month or $500 a month or over $2,000 a month or beyond, get very consistent in your sourcing efforts. Get familiar with what section the new books go into, because every thrift store is going to have a section where they usually stick all the textbooks. And you'll start to learn about different hacks. Like sometimes at one of the savers that we visit regularly, for some reason, there's two people who put out books. For one reason, one of these people must be lazy or something, because they always put like textbooks in like the fiction section near the door. So it's like almost like they ran out of time and they just shove them there. The average reseller wouldn't even walk into the fiction section. So that's a little hack right there. The more consistent you are going to the thrift store, you're going to start to learn various things. So very important stuff right there. Dr. Potato, man, love that name. How much does it cost to get started selling books on Amazon? So it doesn't cost anything. You've just got to, sign up for an Amazon account. There is a free account and then there's a paid account. I would just start with the free account. It's just going to cost you about $1 extra in fees, but don't worry about that until you sell over 40 a month. Then you can jump up to the paid plan and it'll save you a little bit of money. But that's it. I mean, you sign up for the account. It's free. You download the Amazon seller app. That's free. And then essentially the only money that you're going to have to spend is on inventory, going out sourcing, and buying some supplies like some labels, some boxes, a couple office supplies. If you don't have a printer, computer, obviously you're going to need that, because what we're really doing is we're going out, we're sourcing books, and we're analyzing them with our phone. So we use an app called the Amazon Seller app. We scan the barcode. There's a barcode on every book. And when we scan that, we get a bunch of information back. And one of the keys to your success is to learn what to look for when you're scanning. So we can talk about that if you guys want to dive into analyzing books. But once you analyze it and determine it's a good deal based on the profit, how much you're paying, the sales velocity, so on and so forth, you bring all these books home. Okay. So maybe you got 10, 15 books, you put them in a box, you label all the books up, and you ship them off to Amazon. Okay. This is Amazon FBA. And when it sells, Amazon's going to pick it, pack it, ship it, deal with customer service, and you're going to get paid in the end. So definitely a lot more to that. That was just like a 30,000 foot overview, but all you got to type in on YouTube is how to ship to Amazon FBA. And there's going to be people who will literally walk you through step by step. So my goal right here is to get you motivated, to kind of share with you the opportunity, and to kind of give you guys a direction to go into, because books are great. I've made thousands and thousands of dollars selling books. My mother, she's doing it full time now. She just retired from her job and she's collecting Social Security. They don't pay much. So she uses her book selling business to be able to supplement her income. And now she's able to live the good life, and not have to worry about bills, so on and so forth, because of the income that's coming in from the books. Now, is it going to last forever? Probably not. I've been saying this for a while. I think the book business is probably in the 6th, 7th inning, maybe later, because, booksellers are getting burnt from both ends of the stick. The thrift stores, they're raising the prices. They're making it harder and harder. There's more and more competition coming in. And Amazon on the other end, let's just be real, they're raising the fees, the selling fees. They're raising the warehouse fees, more competition. So it is getting smaller and smaller, but there's plenty of meat left on the bone. And the cool thing about selling books, and I'm going to just give it to you guys real, you don't have to do it full time. Like, you can focus on selling men's clothing on eBay. You could focus on your Shopify store. Like, you could even focus on your day job. Maybe you're a police officer, fireman. Like, on your lunch break, just go into the thrift store and go look at the textbooks. Just do a couple little scans and you could find a $40 book, a $60 book. We do it all the time. Now, are there times we go into the thrift store and find nothing? Yeah, all the time. But I'd say we find books 70% of the time, right? Sometimes you're not going to find anything. Today, we went into a Savers, my mother and I. If you're not following me on Instagram at Raiken Profit, follow me. Also, go check out my mother at Mama Profit. Is that her? Let me double check. I think it's Mama. Let's give Mama Profit. It's Mama Profit. So go check her out. We actually found, I don't know if you could see this or not, but this is a picture from my mother today. And this was a really cool find. Now, this isn't a book find, but it's somewhat close. This is a picture of my mother, and I actually found it for her and gave it to her. So I'm going to take a little bit of credit, but we were getting ready to leave. And I said, let me go check out the video game section. And I walked over to the video game section, and next to it was the CD section. And I found all these, it was 3 sets of Harry Potter CDs. So audio versions of the book. And they had like 15 or 20 CDs in each one. And I scanned it, and they were each going, one of them was selling for 20, another one was selling for 30, another one was selling for like 33. And they only charged us 99 cents each. So it was that quick. I mean, we went in, spent like 15 minutes. She bought a board game, couple of books. And then we found these, we spent $3 on 3 of these Harry Potter items. And, that's going to probably make us 40, 50 bucks profit. So, you don't have to do this full time. You can do it part time. You can do it just screwing around an hour here, an hour there. So that's what I love about it. X Savage says, what are the typical fees one would expect to pay for a standard size book being sold FBA? So it really depends. It's going to depend upon the size. It's going to depend upon the weight. I wish I had a book around me and I could show you. Actually, let me see. I think I do have a book behind me, and I'll tell you what some of the fees are. So here's this book right here. Now, this is a book that I bought for $1. I'm not going to be reselling this. I actually just bought it because I was interested in going on a specific diet. But this book right here, let's scan this and analyze it together. Okay. So this book right here has a 65,000 rank. It's probably selling multiple times per day. New, it's selling for $13.45. Used, it's selling for $7.59. So if I was to sell this book for $7.59, and let's just say that I got it for free, I would lose $1. So they took a lot of fees out. And actually, this book right here, $8.64 in fees. Guys, the fees on books have gone through the roof on Amazon. It has gone crazy. Now, there's a good thing that happened, and then there's a bad thing. There's a bad reason. Like, let me put it this way. The fees have gone up so much that a lot of people won't sell books on Amazon anymore because the fees are so high. That's good. Okay, because I'll tell you right now, the only thing that really changed with the fees going higher is you've got to be more picky with what books you pick up. You can't buy $7, $8, $9, $10 books anymore for the most part because the fees are too high. So you got to focus on books that sell for 15, 20, 25. Now you might be thinking, Steve, I can't find a book that sells for that much. Again, it's going to come back to, do you live near a university? Do you have opportunities? Because we find them all the time. You don't have to find a million books to make an extra couple $1,000s a month. You don't. If you could find textbooks, like we just found a bunch of funeral textbooks the other day, and we just sold one for $145. I mean, we're going to net about $100 profit. So what are the fees? It's going to depend upon the weight, the size, and the selling price. So the fees could run anywhere from $5 upwards to $20, $30 in fees to sell a book. It just depends upon those factors. But it doesn't take a ton of books to make a couple $1,000 or even $1,000 a month if you're making, 20, 30, 40, $50 profit. So, yeah, the game's changed. The fees are a lot higher. Not gonna BS you guys. The fees are a lot higher, but it has pushed a lot of competitors out. I used to see a lot of people scanning books at the thrift store, and now there's like usually no one there. Now, every now and then you'll see somebody, and there are, like, you can pretty much tell when it's a bookseller because they're scanning like crazy. But it's good and bad that the fees have gone up. But yeah, I mean, this right here, they took $8.64 from this book, which is kind of crazy. Thriller Gorilla says, off topic, but how sweet is your new Corvette? Oh, I've been loving the new Corvette, guys. It has been, it's been a game changer. Definitely, puts a smile on your face when you wake up in the morning, and it's fun. Just really been enjoying it. So thanks for asking. Hey, Mal, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Steven Post says, by the way, really cool microphone you got there. Awesome. It's a Audio Technica ATR 2100. It was like $50. Love it. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask away. I'm going to just see if there's any more questions. If the books you pick up look like new, do you list them as new or used? I rarely ever sell a book as brand new unless it has like a cellophane wrapping around it. Now, there's been a couple instances where it just looks so crisp and new that I sold it as new, but I like to under promise and over deliver. I saw that somebody had mentioned that in the comments, and that's true. You don't want somebody to be upset and say, oh, this isn't new, or I know this comes with cellophane, so on and so forth. So if it looks brand new, I'll go with like new. But for the most part, I'm selling books. I'm under promising, over delivering. So if it looks very good, I'll usually do it good. If it looks like new, I'll do it very good. I like to under promise, over deliver. That's just me right there. Other people, they like to over promise and under deliver, and it works for them. All the fee calculators on the Amazon are the fee calculations on the Amazon seller app. Yeah. So if you scan a book, you could actually hit the button that says gross proceeds. and it'll break down like different things. Like it'll break down the fees with FBA. You can input like a shipping cost per pound. You could input your cost of goods, and it'll break down like your exact profit. So you probably can't see that, but download the Amazon Seller app and start to play around with it. Thriller Gorilla Picker says, Ray, can you sell audiobooks? Yeah. So like I just showed you, Mama Profit, we found a bunch of Harry Potter audiobooks today. So a lot of CDs are restricted for me nowadays. So it's a little more challenging to sell them, but I still look, but it's not as lucrative as it used to be. Ever sell books on eBay? Yeah, I'll sell books on eBay if they're restricted on Amazon. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well. Back to, both ends of the stick being burnt. One end of the stick is the restrictions. So there are more and more books that are becoming restricted. Now, there are a lot less restrictions when it comes to books compared to toys and electronics and other items like that. But I have noticed that there are, a handful of books, especially if it's like a newer school book, or a particular brand, that are becoming restricted. So you got to be aware of the restrictions. How do FBA fees compare to merchant fulfilled fees for books on Amazon? I think they're a little less if you merchant fulfill them. I know you get a shipping credit as well, which can help you out. I haven't merchant fulfilled in a while, so I'm not the best one to answer that at this time. Do you have any idea in UK where I can outsource or where you can source books? I'm not sure. Never been to the UK. Thriller Gorilla says, I found a lot of cassette audiobooks. I haven't had a lot of experience selling cassettes. I feel like they're a little too outdated. Same thing with VHSs. I'll pick them up now and then, but they're really slow sellers. Anthony's asking, any tips on buying books by the Gaylord? I don't have any experience myself buying books by the Gaylord, but if you guys follow Jim Pickens on YouTube, or if you ever, if you get his course books, if you go to raikenprofit.com/bookselling 101, put in your email, you'll get information about his course. And I believe he talks about Gaylords in that. I'm not 100% sure, but I know he has some experience. If you get into his group and his community, I know he can help you with that. Or check out Bust Proof Books, I believe, by Greg Murphy. I know he has a lot of experience with Gaylord, so definitely check those out. Good resources. Thriller Gorilla says, make friends with the managers. They will tell you days and times stuff goes out. Yeah. So there's this one dude at the one of these Goodwills that I go to, and he's always so freaking annoying. Hopefully he's not watching. He's smart though, but I made a video about this guy before. He literally, I don't know if he calls Goodwill or what he does, because every time this guy is here, there's a brand new bin that comes out just for him, like on a silver platter. So he has some type of relationship with him, kudos to you, brother. But he pulls out this little stool, and he's got his bins, and he sits on his stool and he guards it. He doesn't want anybody to come near his bins. And I made a video about this guy before, because every time you'll go to the bin, he gives you you get this kind of negative vibe, and it's like, stay away from my bins. This is my territory. So it's always really uncomfortable, because I'm not like one of those guys who's like, I'm not going to be well, screw you. This is, it's a free country. I don't like the confrontation and whatnot. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. I've made a video about this before, and I know some people would just give him the backhand. But he certainly mastered the relationships at this one Goodwill. So definitely. Hey, Gabriella, what's up? How long or what do you need to do to get ungated? It depends what you're looking to get ungated in. But in terms of getting ungated with specific books and different things like that, I'm not sure anymore. I've kind of just accepted, because I'm just doing it part-time. If I'm gated, I'm gated. But I know there's a process. You'd have to do some more research. Like if you're trying to get ungated with Nike, or you're trying to get ungated with clothing, I know there's a website you can go to. If you just type in Amazon ungated categories, you can apply to get ungated. Other times they're going to want proof, Gabriella. So they might want invoices or receipts or different types of proof from suppliers in order to see that you're, getting it direct from the manufacturer. So there's various processes and requirements just based upon what you're looking to get ungated in. Any videos? What's up, Matt? How to sell clothes FBA packaging and sourcing. I think I made a couple videos a few years ago. But just look on YouTube, guys. You know, that's the cool thing. You know, most of the answers are out there on Google and YouTube. You just got to do a quick search. I'm sure it's out there. Using the Amazon Seller app, do you have to accept and match low price? So that's a great question, John Hayward. It's going to depend upon your business model. So, you know, if you find a book that, let's just say, for example, it's a 3 million ranked book, that book may or may not sell ever, or maybe it'll sell tomorrow. But for the most part, a 3 million ranked book is going to take a while to sell for the most part. I would go lowest price or I would undercut because I want that book to move. So that's a smart move. If you put it third, fourth in line, 3 million rank, you're probably going to be sitting on it forever. So that's probably not the best move. If you have a book like this one, let's just pretend it was selling for 40 bucks, even though it's not, with a, you know, 30,000 rank, you could go third, fourth in line and ask a little bit more because that demand is there. There's that supply and demand factor. So it really depends upon your model. For myself and Mama Profits, typically we're matching price or we're undercutting a little bit with the books just because we want them to move. But there's plenty of other business models out there where people are willing to be second, third, fourth in line. So it just depends on what your risk tolerance is, how much cash you have, because you've got to make sure to be cash flowing, because in order to grow your business, you're going to have to be investing into more inventory, but you're going to have to pull out inventory if you don't have thousands of dollars in the bank to keep reinvesting. So that's really up to you. Moniker, what's up? New to channel, new toy, our vids. Where are you sourcing books in the US? I'm doing FBA, but not in books. Okay. So for the most part, we're going to thrift stores. So we're going to Goodwills and Savers over here. I'm in Connecticut. You can also go to mom and pop thrift stores, garage sales. Sometimes you'll find them at flea markets, church sales, library sales are great. You can also find books every now and then at a consignment store. So we have a consignment store in town that we can get books at for pretty good deals. Sometimes you're paying $5, $6, $7 a book, but you can find $30, $40, $50 books, plus video games and board games there as well. So you can also look there. Also, don't forget, if you're serious about finding books, keep an eye out on your Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Let Go, because every now and then people are just liquidating their books. Also, keep an eye out. Let your friends know if you're, you know, even if you're older, let your friends know, hey, if your kids are selling books, we buy books. Or if you're younger, say, you know, instead of selling it to the bookstore and getting that, I'll buy it. You know, there's so many different ways you can get books, but most people are getting them through church sales or thrift stores. Thrilla says, I sell horror VHS only, but rock cassettes are becoming as popular as records. Pick them up for 10 cents and sell $8 to $10 and ship media mail. Sweet. No Life is asking, hey, just want to ask, when buying and selling clothes online, buying from thrift stores, do you think it's required? Hold on. Buying from thrift stores, do you think it's required to waste it, or do the stores do it? Oh, wash it. That's what you're asking. I don't wash my clothes. So I've made a lot of videos about this in the past. That's always like a number one question people have, is like, do I have to wash the clothes? You don't have to. Thrift stores, they're not washing it either. Now, you always want to put yourself in the shoes of the customer. If it's all crusty and gross, smelly, you're obviously going to want to wash it. But for the most part, the clothing that I buy from thrift stores are in great condition. Today I picked up, oh man, I had a killer score today, guys. I picked up 2 Ermini Gildo Zegna sport coats. They were both corduroy for $9.99 each. Mint condition. It was the Zegna Z model. So these are going anywhere from probably $50 to $95 each, and paid $10. They were in immaculate condition. So they were actually the same size. One was brown, one was navy. Gorgeous, gorgeous set of Zegna sport coats. Killer find right there. But that's an example, you know, most of the items I find are in pretty good condition. They're clean, dry cleaned. But for the, you know, 10% or less that need to be washed, go wash them. You know what I mean? Gavin says, sorry, Steve, got to go. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is on. Oh man, you got to go watch that. Thanks for watching. Moniker says, awesome. Subscriber for life. Thanks for answering my question. You are welcome. Joshua, he says, hey, Steve, how you doing? I am doing fantastic. As Dave Ramsey would say, better than I deserve. The Hustling Hippie, I did great my first month following your tips. First month, $670 in sales. That's amazing right there. You know, it just goes to show, if you're willing to learn and then apply and take action, you can go out there and make money. But again, like I said before, You've got to find your opportunity. Books may or may not be your opportunity. It might be clothing. It might be, I don't know, something else, electronics, or maybe you're in Austin, Texas. You could crush it with athletic items and, surfboards and, different clothing related to rock climbing and stuff. So you just got to know your area. Malcolm says, if you are only doing this part-time, what else are you spending your time on? So I spend my time on a lot of different things. I have a video that I put out. It was called my 9 income streams. So if you just type that in, Raiken Profit 9 income streams, you'll be able to learn exactly how I make my money. And I do a lot of different things, but a lot of online marketing, personal branding, Shopify as of late. I use reselling. I just do it for fun and to kind of supplement my income and to spend time with my mother nowadays because my business has kind of evolved over the years. Rich, should I sell cables in bulk or single? I don't know. Are you selling them? Are they brand new? Because if they're all brand new in the package, I've actually found various cables in the past before. If they're selling better in lots on eBay, then I would put it there. But if you have them, if they're brand new in the package, and they're doing well on Amazon, it's a very scalable model. I would send it in. So it just really depends. With a lot, when you sell an item in a lot, there's a lot less back end work. You know what I mean? Say you have a lot of like 50 items. To sell it one time, you might make only 60% of the income, but to sell it 50 times, you might make 10 times more, but it might take you 50 times more time. So it just depends on how much time you have. Thriller Gorilla, Raiken makes money by hustling and motivation. I don't think the motivation makes me much money, but it's what I do with the motivation. Jewel Real Life says, hey, Steve, I'm glad to catch you on your live stream. Just wanted you to know that you were part of my morning routine. Awesome. Thanks for watching. X Savagery says, how do you determine price if there are no other FBA sellers? So there's a couple things you can do. The best thing to probably do is to use a website called camel.com. I'm not screwing with you. I don't know why they came up with that name, but that's it. And that will give you it's not like a sold listings history, but it's a history of what the item has been listed for on Amazon. So you can actually choose, seller fulfilled, Amazon FBA fulfilled, or new or used, and you can get an idea of what it's been listed for in the past. So that's one way to do it. Also, another way to do it is to just kind of look at what the merchants are selling it for, look at the rank, look at how many reviews and other conditions, and come up with a price. What up, Bonafide Hustler in the house, man? Pumped up to see you in Austin, Texas. If you guys aren't following Bonafide Hustler, he has been absolutely dropping gold nugget reselling bombs on his channel lately. So if you guys are looking to learn more about reselling, go to his channel. And also, he always makes sure to drop in a bunch of stuff about fitness and health and living a well-rounded life. So check him out. What's up, Paul? Oh, God, Paul. What the heck, man? Don't come in here with that, Paul. Paul says, just found 16 Vineyard Vine ties. Awesome condition. $3 a pop at Goodwill. You sick son of a gun. Vineyard Vines is like one of my favorite brands. So I'm kind of like, make sure I'm not drooling over here, Paul. That's great. Are they really colorful? Do they have any themes to them, or just striped? What are they? No Life says, also, if bought an item trying to sell and no buyer, how do you make the money back? If I bought an item trying to sell and no buyer, how do you make the money back? I'm not sure what that means. Gabriella, how was your red light therapy? Loving it. Do it for about 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. Stand there, read a book, try to look pretty. Thriller Gorilla, Raiken, I started selling plush after one of your shows on selling them. I found and sold my vintage, my little monster from, you found one of those things? That's awesome. That is super cool. I've never used LitGo. I've heard of people using it. There's so many things out there, guys. There's LitGo, there's Poshmark, there's Mercari, there's eBay, there's Amazon. You got to just pick and choose and experiment. So I don't have any experience with it, but I've heard people have had success with it. All right, guys. So I think that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, do me a big favor and hit that like button, guys. I would definitely appreciate that. Lets me know that you're enjoying these videos. But I am I am losing my voice slowly but surely. So just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I was able to give you guys some good information and add value to your life today. You know, that's what this channel is all about, is serving you, helping you, and giving you guys the knowledge to go out there and take action and get results in your business. So really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Rich, Thriller Gorilla. Thanks for stopping by. Malcolm, thank you. Thank you. Paul, Gabriella, Bonafide. Appreciate you all checking on in. Everyone else I missed, thank you. Have an amazing day. And if you guys have any more questions, just drop it below. I got to get rolling, but thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.